AI in clinical research. For years, we've been hearing this promise of a revolution, one that's supposed to make developing new medicines faster, cheaper, and way more precise. But let's be honest, if you look at clinical trials today, a lot of them are still slow, incredibly expensive, and often they don't even give us the clear answers we need. So what's going on? Well, it turns out the AI revolution might be stalling, and not because the tech isn't good enough, but because we've been measuring its value all wrong. Today, we're going to dig into a new framework that really cuts through the hype to redefine what success actually looks like.
You hear it everywhere, right? AI is going to change everything we know about medicine. It's supposed to make drug development faster, more effective, just better. And that's an amazing, optimistic vision for the future of healthcare. But here comes the reality check. Despite all this incredible technology, the very engine of medical progress, the clinical trial, is often stuck in first gear. They are notoriously long, they cost a fortune, and, as our source material points out, way too often they fail to give us clear, actionable answers.
And that creates a pretty big paradox, doesn't it? We have this revolutionary technology just sitting there, but the fundamental problems, they're still here. It makes you stop and ask a really important question. Where is this AI revolution we were all promised?
This is where it gets interesting. The paper we're looking at argues that we've been looking at this problem completely backward. The issue isn't a lack of powerful AI tools, not at all. The real problem is that we have a fundamental flaw in how we're measuring their worth. We're using the wrong yardstick.
For way too long, the whole conversation has just been a big brainstorm about all the places we could plug AI in. Recruitment, data analysis, you name it. And yeah, the potential is huge, but this has led to a completely scattered approach with no clear strategy for understanding what success even means. This question just nails the problem perfectly. Think about it. An hour isn't just an hour. Let's say you're in a race to respond to a new disease outbreak. An hour saved there is massive, but in a long-term cardiovascular study, maybe not as much. Without a way to compare these apples and oranges, we're just guessing at what's truly valuable. And this really highlights a major strategic blind spot. Right now, almost everyone is focused on these cost-minimizing solutions. Why? Because they're easy to measure. We saved X dollars, we saved Y hours. Easy. But that narrow view completely misses the much bigger prize. Solutions that have a real ecosystem-level impact, things that make trials more informative, more reproducible, and ultimately more successful. So what's the result of this measurement problem? Well, it's pretty much chaos. It leads to this ad hoc patchwork adoption of AI. Companies end up with a bunch of tools that might look good on a spreadsheet, but don't actually add up to any real strategic advantage. Best case scenario, it's inefficient. Worst case, it's expensive and can even be harmful. Okay, so how do we fix this? The paper proposes a really smart solution, a completely new framework for how we think about and measure the value of AI, one that takes us way beyond just counting the pennies we've saved. Let's take a look at what that is. It's called a value-based framework. Now, the best way to get your head around this is to think about something called QALYs, or Quality Adjusted Life Years. It's a tool that healthcare economists use to put a standard value on different medical treatments. This framework would do the exact same thing for AI tools, create a kind of common currency of value, no matter where or how the tool is used in a trial. This framework is built on 3 core pillars. First, there's informativeness. Basically, does the AI tool make it more likely that the trial will give us a clear yes or no answer? Second is cost-effectiveness, the metric we all know, but now it's just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. And third, trial reproducibility. Does the tool help us make sure that our scientific results are solid and reliable? Now, this next point is absolutely crucial. This can't just be some academic exercise or a tool for sponsors to make more money. For this whole framework to be meaningful and ethical, it has to be built on what patients and communities actually value. It's a big shift, one that makes sure innovation is actually serving the people it's supposed to help. And adopting a framework like this isn't just the right thing to do, it's also a massive strategic advantage. Let's talk about the real business payoff here, which shifts the whole goal from just saving a few bucks to optimizing your entire R&D portfolio. And here it is, the true game changer. There are new studies showing that AI can now be used to actually predict the probability of a trial's success, meaning its ability to deliver a clear result before a single patient is even enrolled. Think about that. That's a huge leap from using AI for efficiency to using it for strategic foresight.
This predictive power just unlocks a whole new level of managing your research. So step 1, you use AI to predict if a trial is likely to succeed. Step 2, you use that insight to decide how you design your trials and which ones you prioritize, putting your resources where they'll have the biggest impact. And the result? Step 3, you improve the success rate of your entire clinical development program.
This is the key takeaway for any leader in this field. We're talking about a major strategic shift from tactical one-off cost cutting to creating systemic value across your entire R&D pipeline. That is the real promise of AI. So this all leads us to a really powerful and kind of urgent conclusion. The paper argues that we're getting close to a tipping point, a moment where using these proven AI tools is no longer just a good idea, it actually becomes an ethical obligation. So how would we even know when we've hit that tipping point? Well, the authors suggest creating what they call observatories. You can think of them as watchdogs, institutions whose whole job is to constantly monitor the evidence for AI tools. They'd create this living, breathing review that tells the entire community, hey, this tool has been proven to work. And that brings us to this incredibly powerful line from the paper. The moment that evidence base is strong enough, clinical investigators are obliged to use these tools. It's no longer a choice. Let's be really clear about what that means. Clinical trials run on the trust and the selflessness of participants. So once an AI tool is proven to make a trial better or more likely to succeed, choosing not to use it is basically wasting that trust. You could be exposing people to unnecessary risk. From that perspective, it becomes straight up unethical. So let's end with this. The question we need to ask is no longer, where can we use AI? The right question, the better question, is how do we measure its value in a way that truly matters? And that shift in perspective, that could be the key to finally unlocking the AI revolution we've all been waiting for. The real question is your organization ready to ask it?